Hi, now we're back for our next discussion, and this will be on modal harmonies. Now, the modes are really from the Middle Ages. The names come from ancient Greece, and they weren't used for a long time, but then Claude Debussy, in search of new sounds and colors, started using them in his music. So if you're not familiar with them, let me just explain briefly. If you take a major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, in the key of C, it would be C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The first mode is Dorian. That means you're playing a C scale, but from the second note to the ninth. So you'd have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And then the next one would be the Phrygian. That would be from the third note of the scale. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And then the Lydian would be from the fourth note of the scale. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. And the Mixolydian would be from the fifth note. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The Aeolian, which is our minor scale, now a lot of our music is in minor. The natural minor would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. The harmonic minor, they raise the seventh note. So that would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A. A lot of Mid-Eastern music, ethnic music would use that scale. And then they have the melodic minor, where you would raise the sixth and seventh note going up and natural coming down. But we're not going to use that scale. In fact, we're not going to talk too much about the natural minor because we're going to talk about most of our music is in major keys or minor keys, or modulates between the two. But we're going to talk today about the modes, and the first one we're going to, in this discussion, will be Dorian. Now, a lot of people will use the Dorian mode in jazz and rock to improvise against, let's say, a D minor chord. So they would use, or let's say we did it up here. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Now, the way you would make a key out of this is you would put a chord on every note. The important note in the mode, the Dorian mode, is the sixth note, because in a major scale, D would be D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. In the minor, it would be D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C or C sharp, D. But in the Dorian mode, the most important note would be the sixth note, because that's the note that sets it aside from the other scales. So we would have D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Now, if we put a chord with each note, the first chord would be D minor. The second chord would be E minor. The third chord would be F. The fourth chord would be G. The fifth chord would be A minor. The B diminished we would stay away from in modal music. And the seventh would be C. And then back to D minor. Now, in major keys, the 1, 4, and 5 chord are the primary chords. 2, 3, and 6 are secondary. But in modal keys, any chord that has that B will be, or the sixth note of the scale, will be the important note. So the primary chords in Dorian mode would be D minor, the 2 chord E minor, and the 4 chord G. And then back to D minor. So now listen to the modal sound. I'm going to play those 3 chords and just listen to the sound. The main chord now is the D minor. I'll do it there. D minor, say G, E minor, D minor. Now let's listen to the secondary chords. That would be F, A minor, and C. So, you know, as people use chords as backgrounds to songs, let's make up a song now using modal, the Dorian mode. The Dorian mode, there are 15 major scales, so you can have 15 Dorians starting on the second note of every scale. Now, I don't know if you've done this yourself, but you've probably read and about many songwriters and interviews. You see they always, almost always, 99% of the time, they write their songs by playing chords on a guitar or piano, and then that generates melodies in your mind or in your fingers as you improvise, and that's how most composers of popular and rock will work. So why don't we do an experiment now together? I will play, let's say, the verse of a song. Now, you know, most modern songs are based on a introduction, a verse, a pre-chorus. The verse could be once or twice, a pre-chorus which sets up the chorus, and then they repeat that. The verse would be telling the story, and usually the pre-chorus and the chorus have the same words. And then they put in a section called the bridge, something totally a little bit different for variety, then back to the verse and so on. Sometimes they throw in the introduction in the middle, but a lot of modern songwriters have been using that form recently, and you can check it out. Just go to pick your favorite songs, your favorite groups, go to Google and ask to see the lyrics and chords to songs, and then you can get it free nowadays. They give it to you on any song I've ever seen, and what they do is they give you the form of the song too, so you don't have to analyze the form as far as an analysis of where's the verse, they give it to you, so which is really great. So now let's make up a song now. Now if you want, why don't you sing, if you have words, or just sing anything in your mind and get this modal sound. We're going to make the verse using the primary chords. And then I'll call out when we go to the pre-chorus, we'll use the secondary chords. And then the chorus will go back to using the primary chords. And I'll call it out to you. We're just going to stay in the Dorian mode from the key of C, which means from D to D, and the chords are going to be D. And if you want, improvise. If you're playing guitar, piano, just use the Dorian scale and improvise solos or a melody or a song, anything you want. Just be free. Just be free. But I want you to get the sound of the Dorian mode in your head, okay? So here we go. We'll put just a normal beat to it. All right, here we go. Verse. This will be the verse in the intro. It's going to be D minor, E minor, G, and D minor. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Chorus. Now the chorus, E minor, D minor, E minor, G. Bridge, A minor to C, C, F, G, back to the, now we're going to go back to the chorus. Okay, so there, that was just an example of how the key of Dorian will sound, and the possibilities that you can use this for songwriting or soloing. Okay, great. So in our next discussion, we are going to talk about the Phrygian mode. And right now, I will put up a chart from one of my books on the Dorian mode. So you can see on the chart how it lays out. And just remember, it's from the second note of the major scale. Okay, great. So here's a chart from the modal keys, and as it says here, it explains what I just said. There's the Dorian, and there's the Dorian scale on D, and how you would make the key of D Dorian based on adding regular chords, not the chords that we talked about from my book on chords for the 21st century, but on traditional chords. Because to get the modal sound, we need really these basic chords to give that beautiful modal sound. Great, so I'll see you on the next discussion. That'll be the Phrygian mode.